many of you are so exhausted, you did not know you could be so exhausted after spending all day in prayer. Yes. Said all the people that do not have children. The mothers, they know that kind of exhaustion, don't they? Well, you are in for a treat this morning. We're going to lighten the air because everybody has that EdTPA submission heavy hanging over their head. Forget about EdTPA right now. Yes, you need the EdTPA because you want a JOB, right? This man, Dr. Thornburg, Dr. Roland Thornburg, the other half, I didn't say better half, the other half of Dr. Gina Thornburg is here to tell you how to get a job from the perspective of someone who's been sitting on the other side of the interview table. And he is going, Dr. Thornburg works in the PE department. You may know it, you may not. But he does this for us every semester, does a fantastic job. I have interns semester after semester coming back to me, and I'm sure he does also saying, that was so helpful. That helped so much when I went for my interview. So listen to the voice of experience, and it's going to be informative as well as entertaining. Thank you, Dr. Thornburg.
I turned one off. I had already turned one off. Yeah.
It's quiet.
Does that mean turn it back on?
No, as long as it doesn't be dark for you.
Is that okay?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's how you get along at home. Well, welcome everybody.
Can I go with those blue papers?
Okay, sure. That's how you started. You got a question? Okay, before we get started, a little bit about me real quick. Been here since 2002. I have a special interest in you guys because this is my home. If you go downstairs as you're walking out, my dad's picture is on the wall. He was dean here a gazillion years ago. I went to school here. I grew up here. I got my master's degree here. I coached here, and then went out and did what you wanted to do, and I taught and coached at the public school level. I taught at several different universities. I taught school administration, teaching other people how to be principals, and then I was also assistant principal and principal in Georgia as well. And one of my jobs was to do the hiring. And a good thing for you guys is that everybody flocks to JSU first to do all their hiring. When they have job openings, they want to come to JSU and grab all the JSU students first, and then they start searching other places. Matter of fact, in Georgia, we would have basically wars when we got here on who we would get. So if I wanted you and if she wanted you, and we were both from different school systems, we would even do things under the table of, tell you what, if you'll come with me, this is what I'll give you. And we would do battles back and forth because we wanted JSU people so bad. And they would pass all these Georgia universities to come here and get you guys. That's how good you folks are. So I can tell you that from experience. And so today, seeing that I'm a JSU grad and teacher, I'm going to give you some secrets on how to beat those other folks on how to get a job. Because look around the room, you're going to be competing with each other for jobs. I bet somebody is here. Y'all are going to put in for the same jobs. But think about it. You're also going to be competing against people from UNA, from Troy, from South Alabama, from West Georgia, from University of Georgia, from Alabama, Auburn. So, you want that job. Now, one time I was talking with some girls about getting a job, and there was a job opening. And I don't ever play favorites when it's time for jobs. And so these two girls were here, and they were sitting back and forth. Well, I was going to apply for that job. And the other one went, well, I was going to apply for that job. Well, you go ahead and apply for this one. I'll take the other one. I went, what? I said, y'all are sitting here. Just go ahead and take that $50,000 job. I'll look for something else. And the other girl in the middle went, oh, no, I'm applying for it. And y'all can just kind of suck it if that's the way, because I'm going after this job right here. And that's the way I want you to be when it's time. And you be sweet right now, but when it's job time, you have to think in your head, I'm better than the rest of the people out in that waiting room waiting to do the interview, okay? Because they're thinking the same thing. I've got this. And that's the way I want you to think. Anytime I came in for a job interview, I knew if I could get my foot in the door and talk to somebody, I've got the job. You'll just give me a chance to talk, I've got it. Okay? And that's the way I want you to think. I want you to not go in necessarily cocky, but go in confident. I can do this. Y'all been prepared. Y'all are ready. Okay? So, got that out of the way. Now, everybody close your eyes. Close your eyes. Think EdTPA. Got it? Scary clowns! Ah! Okay, now, come back. Okay, so that's what I always think about when I think about EdTPA. It's that scary clown on Halloween and everything. So we're going to forget about that for just a little bit of time, okay? Just for a little bit. Put that away. Okay, we're not going to talk about EdTPA for right now. What I do want you to do is close your eyes. I want you to think about, believe it or not, this time next year, you'll have your own classroom. You'll be in your own classroom. Your walls will be decorated probably with Halloween. Happy Halloween, not scary Halloween. You can't have scary Halloween. Happy Halloween. You're going to have kids on the floor, on beanbags, up in lofts, in chairs, in stations, right? You see it? You got to see it to believe it. You see it? All right. Now come back to me. That's one thing we do in our family is that we do that. Believe it or not, we do that. We close our eyes and we think these things have already happened. Okay, that's the secret. Not that I hope it. It's already happened. It's going to happen. So let's just live like it's going to be there. Right? And that's what I want you to do. Now, for the next little bit, I'm going to tell you how to do that. Okay? So we're graduating. We're fixing to get our teaching job. Oh, that's right. You got to learn to have technology. Turn it on. My mama says I'm special. I mean, mom's told it, right? My mom told me that I'm special. What makes you special? Think about it for just a minute. What makes you special? Turn and tell somebody.
If I tell myself I have energy enough, I get it. Sure, you tell yourself you have energy enough to get it. If I'm so
All right, come back to me. Because believe it or not, I'm going to ask you this question in a different way. I'll show you in just a little bit. But I want to ask you this. Some of y'all got tickled like, oh, I don't know. You can't be that way. You got to be. Here's why. Here's why I'm better than the next person that's coming here. And here's why you should hire me. Bam, bam, bam. And I'm fixing to show you that. So first off, we've been successful at JSU. We can check that off. Right? We've been successful at JSU. We're almost done with that EdTPA thing. We're almost being able to check that off. And we're fixing to slide and glide the rest of the way home. Right? And then walk across that stage. One of the things, if I ask you, is why you want to be here and why you want to teach. Most people tell me, because I want to make a difference. And that is the significance part. I want to be significant in somebody's life. I want to make a difference in a child's life. That's why 99.9% of us are doing this right now. But then once you do that, I want you to go to the next level and think of it's not about me, but it's about doing for others and serving. And the teaching profession is a service profession where we are a servant. I want to take care of these kids. I want to take care of little kids, middle school kids, high school kids, to the point where I even want to come back and take care of college kids because that's my passion. Okay? You guys. And so you want to change roles of being not served, but to serve others. All right? I want you to think about that as we're going through. To love what you do and feel that it matters, how could anything be more fun? Right? Have y'all not had fun in the classroom? Again, forget about it. In the classroom, had it been fun? It's been challenging, right? But it's fun every day you go, right? Has anybody here gone to school and come out going, gosh, that was just a boring day? No, never did we do that. We thought, wow, that was just a boring day. Nothing happened really spectacular this day, right? Everything has been fun coming out. What am I looking for as a principal when I'm hiring for a new teaching position, whether it's pre-K, K through K through 2, 3 through 5, middle school, or high school, there's certain things that I'm looking for. All right? Most of this is on the handout, but you can kind of take notes if you want to. Number 1 is a passion for students first, teaching second. Okay? Because if you don't love kids, you're not going to do a good job teaching. I've ran into people who say, I just love math and I want to share math with everybody. Or I love music and I want everybody to know about music. Or I love history and I want everybody to understand, how important history is to me. Okay? But those kind of people I don't hire. The folks I hire is I love kids and I want to teach them these things because I love them so much. That's the kind of folks I'm looking for, that passion for children. Okay? And that you do anything for them. So first off, passion with students and teaching. When you come into my school, I want somebody who's enthusiastic every day. You come in excited about whatever it is that you're doing. Okay? When you're passionate about those kind of things, you think about it all night, and y'all go to bed, and I bet you never dreamed this when you were 15. I go to bed thinking about what I'm going to teach the next day, right? Have you ever done that? You lay down and think, what am I going to wake up first thing in the morning? Oh, okay, here's what I got to do. I got to get there early. I got to do this. I got to set up everything like that. And you thought, at 15, did you ever think that's what I'm going to be dreaming about and thinking about? No, but we do. That's what we do at home. Okay? Could you imagine being in my house? Poor kids, that's all they hear is back and forth teaching. What we're going to be doing the next day, and here's what I've got planned for the next day. But that's what you do when you're enthusiastic about what it is that you're doing and you're teaching. Number 2, a sense of humor. How many of you have laughed at some point during the day while you've been in your internship? Something funny's happened, right? Either to you or to the kids. And you just laugh about it. I need people in my building that have a good sense of humor because something funny is going to happen every day. Now, at the beginning, when I thought I was the best teacher ever, that God ever made. And I was, and y'all might be this type of person too, perfection. I wanted to be perfect in everything that I did. And if I didn't, I got mad at myself. And one day somebody said, you need to lighten up and just laugh about things. And then as I got older, that's what I started doing. So, if I came in and tripped over this chair or spilled something and everyone's like, God, I cannot believe it. You just laugh about it, clean it up, get up, and move on. And everybody kind of looks at you, and you just look at you like, oh, God, I thought she was going to be mad, but she's laughing and thinks that's funny. Okay, that's cool. And go on. Okay? So you got to have a sense of humor in this job because there's funny things that happen every day in your classroom or somebody, when you go home, you tell your spouse, your friend, you're not going to believe what happened today. And we're there to sit behind a computer all day and print out things and look at numbers. We're having a blast, having fun, okay, and laughing about things. Number 3, involvement. That's great that you've got a 4.0. That's great that you've done, you scored out the top with NTPA and with practice this. I want somebody who wants to get involved and do things, okay? So if I've got a 4.0 student over here, I just wanted to concentrate on my studies, and I went to class every day, and then I came home and I studied and got all my stuff prepared and went back every day, and I've got a 4.0. That's great. I don't want you. I'd rather have somebody who is an AB student, and I was involved with this club, with this organization. We did these things on campus. I was involved with this after school. I participated in this activity. I was a coach of this thing. I volunteered for that. That's the kind of folks I need in my building. Okay? I want somebody who is involved in doing things because that's what I'm going to need when you're at my school. So involvement. And then that person who takes initiative. The wallflower who kind of stands over here and kind of props over here and waits for somebody to call on to come. I don't need those folks. I need somebody I'll do it. I got it. I'll take care of it. That's the kind of folks I need, whatever it may be. You think, Dr. T, I'm just not that kind of person. I don't know if I could just take off and tackle something like that. That's okay, because in my school, I need 3 kind of folks. And here's a question I'll ask you. Here's the first question I'll ask, or one of the questions I'll ask you in an interview. Are you a leader? Are you a follower? Or are you a nurturer? That's one of the questions I ask. You think, well, golly, the right answer is leader. Not necessarily. Because I need all three in my building. Okay? I need those who can lead. And when you tell me, well, I'm a leader, I'm going to write that down in my notes and circle it. Okay, so remember that. Well, I'm a follower. I need followers. If I got all leaders, who's going to follow? Right? I don't really like to take charge, but if you'll tell me what to do, I'll do it. Right? You know those folks? Sure. Those are good followers. And then a nurturer. They don't really like to do those kind of things, but hospitality and setting up rooms for receptions and getting all of those kind of things. And here's a family in need. Hey, I'll take care of that. I need those kind of folks too. Okay, so I need all three. The next thing is professional appearance. How you look. Now, well, Dr. T, I'm just not that pretty. It's not about pretty. It's about professionalism and how you look and how you carry yourself when you come in to a room. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Dispositions are attitudes, ethics, and vision. Okay? So, positive dispositions is your attitude. I need folks with good attitudes in my school. Now, I'm not going to ask for a raise of hands, but watch this. How many of you have come across some teachers with kind of a sour attitude in your you see the looks up here? Yeah, I remember that. But here's my advice. Run as fast as you can away from those folks, because there's little cliques. Have y'all seen the little cliques that kind of form in schools, and they're just run away fast, just turn and walk. Oh, I got to go. I got to work on this NTPA stuff. I ain't got time. And you surround yourselves with positive folks, not negative folks. So good attitudes. Ethics are key to me, because I don't want to ever see any of my teachers on the news with their picture plastered up, done something wrong. I do not. It's scary, and we laugh about that. And I to the point in my house, and we've got kids at our house, and they even see this, and this is horrible. I hate to say this is just horrible for me. But we'll be watching something. Well, a middle school teacher was just arrested for so and so and so in such school. To the point, most people, well, that's just sad. Well, that's just horrible. You know what my thought is? Please don't be a GSU student. Please don't be a GSU student. That's the first thing I think. Oh, gosh, please don't graduate from GSU. That's horrible. That's the first thing I think. Please don't be one of mine. Because I talk over and over and over about ethics. And, thinking before you do. Okay? So being ethically sound. Now, I've had teachers who say, well, that's not fair, because what I do during the day shouldn't decide on what I do in the evening. So if I want to go out and party and drink and this and that and other, that's my personal life. I should be able to do what I want to. That's not fair. You're right, it's not, but that's part of being a teacher. Okay? And I know it stinks, but that's just the way it is. That we're held at a different standard. You would get this call from a parent the next morning. Hey, Dr. T, I saw Miss Smith's car out in front of Brothers Bar last night at 3 a.m. I want to know what's going on in my child's classroom. I get that. I don't get to ask the mom, what were you doing out at 3 a.m. riding past Brothers Bar? I don't get to do that. I have to call you in and go, what's the deal? Here's what, is this true? And we've got to have a sit down and talk to them about that. Okay? So ethics is important. And people are watching you all the time. At Walmart, at Longhorn, have y'all run into any of your students at Walmart or at somewhere? Are you a rock star? Have you noticed that? You'll be walking through Walmart. Oh my gosh, Mom, there's my teacher. Oh, come here, you gotta get my teacher. Come here, that's my teacher. And you're like, I'm just trying to get my stuff at Walmart. But then, come here. And the mom's like, oh gosh, here we go. I gotta talk to him. Here are my sweatpants and my. Or you're eating at Longhorn. Hey, Dr. T, what are you doing here? Because they think all you do is eating the calf. You live in school, right? You don't have another life. What are you doing here at Longhorn? And so you're going to be seen everywhere. And so you've got to act appropriately. Believe it or not, when I was in Georgia, I would tell my single teachers who still wanted to have that single life, you may want to live over there toward Atlanta and then just commute in where you can do that and then come here. That lasted about a year because you're so tired by the end of it, they didn't want to do that. And it's like, forget that. I want to go home, go to bed, and get back up the next day. But it was just too long and too hard to do that. But ethics is important. And then a vision. I want all my teachers to have some type of vision. And that's going to be one of the questions that I ask you is this. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Think about that. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Because remember, I'm looking for an answer. Okay? So, well, I hope to be married. I hope to have a master's degree. I hope to be working on my EDS. I hope to be going 10-0 with my football team or my volleyball team or whatever. I hope to be, a lead teacher, the department head. I hope to be, working on my something. I want you to have something that you do. Believe it or not, I was interviewing for a job. When I told you earlier, when I was younger, I was cocky. Life has pretty much well humbled me now, but back then I was young and cocky and thought I was the best teacher ever. I went to a university, and the gentleman asked me, the department head said, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I looked at him. I said, "In your job." He kind of looked at me and kind of looked back. He said, looked at the other guys and went, "That's interesting. I'm retiring in 5, and we're looking for someone to replace me when I get there to that point." If you me, I didn't take the job. I thought I would. So, but anyway, those kind of things happen. So you just never know. Okay. Professional qualities. Now, circle this and remember this group, because we're going to use this group of answers. If they're not on the sheet, write them down. We're going to use these periodically throughout our interview. Okay? Professional qualities. What are some of your professional qualities? Well, first, I want somebody who knows their content area. I want somebody who knows what they're talking about. Believe it or not, kids know if you know what you're talking about or not, right? They do. I've got one now at my house who, she would come home and I go, "Babe, how's your day?" "Oh, it was awful. The teacher didn't know what she was talking about today. The substitute teacher didn't know what she was talking about. She didn't know what she was doing. She can't even do it. Well, she had to call us up there to do it." They know. They know. Okay? So you got to know your content. Planning, instruction, and then put another / assessment. You need to be able to know how to plan. You need to know how to be able to get up and teach whatever the topic is. And you need to know how to assess those students. Are they learning or not? Jump back to our scary thing. What is that 3 components of? Right? Honestly, I know y'all have harsh words about it, but really that's all it's doing. It's seeing if you know how to plan, how to teach, and how to assess. Really, the theory behind it is good. Okay? I know all the work stuff, but theory behind can you plan, can you teach, and can you make sure your students are learning? Okay? Because in the big scheme of things, in a school, they're not your students, they're my students. I'm the principal, they're my children. I'm responsible higher up. Okay. The Board of Education is going to be calling me. It's going to be my head if you're not doing your job. So that's why it's important that I hire folks who can do a great job with you. Okay. So knowing your content, being able to plan, and those teaching skills, communication skills. I'll have folks come up and go, "Hey, come on up in here and give me a speech about such and such." "Oh no, I can't do that. I don't talk good in front of adults. I can do with kids, but I can't talk to. I don't do well with adults." Who's the first group you're going to talk to as a teacher? Parents. At teacher orientation, right? So if you can't get up in front and talk with parents about what's going on, they want to know, what are you going to do for my child? Right? They're going to do that. So you've got to be able to communicate, whether it's via email, via group text, via notes sent home, a folder, Wednesday folder, going, however it is. They want to communicate more now than ever. Okay? So communication skills. You should be able to communicate with your administrator, with other faculty, and get along. Teamwork. And then also with those parents and the community, because it won't be long. As soon as you get that job, the first thing you're going to hear is that dreaded word, fundraiser. Fundraiser. Okay? And name me some things that you've seen fundraising. Ready to go? Shout out.
Cookie dough.
Cookie dough.
Coca-Cola.
Coats. Candles. Gift wrap.
Donuts.
Donuts. Nobody's, I hadn't heard y'all seen the signs? Fundraiser. We're selling mattresses. I'm going to buy my mattress from an elementary school and a high school. What? Yeah, mattress fundraiser. Sheets. Have we bought sheets? We bought sheets. I bought sheets. Yeah. Right. But let's see if you don't see going down the road fundraisers for mattresses. And then finally, classroom management. Now I'm going to give you a secret. Classroom management. One of the questions I'm going to ask you in an interview is, name me some of your strengths. That one is going to be one of your answers. You understand? I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. One of your answers. When I ask you, name a couple of your strengths, classroom management better come out of your mouth. Well, Dr. T, it's not really. I don't care. Work on it between now and the time you get the job. Because as a principal, I really struggle with classroom management. Oh, well, thank you for playing. It's time for you to go home. Because what that means is you're going to be sending your kids up to my office all the time. Okay? And I don't want that as a principal. I want you to be able to handle your class in your classroom, your kids. Okay? So classroom management is always a strength. Right? But these are good strengths. If somebody said, name me a few of your strengths, well, I'm organized and I'm responsible and okay, let's see what everybody answers. Hey, I know my stuff. I'm a good planner. I teach well. I'm a good communicator. And one of my best strengths is classroom management. You dang right it is. That's right. Okay. If you were walking in for an interview, you're ready to go. You're sitting in your car. You're psyching yourself up in the mirror. I can do this. I'm ready to go. You get out of the car. You're walking to the building. And as you walk into the building at Gunnersville Middle School, you see this sign, 21st Century Community Learning Center, Gunnersville Community Education. What do you think before you walk in that building you ought to know? What this is? 21st Century Community Learning. I better know that. That principal is probably going to ask me, we're a 21st Century Community Learning Center. What does that mean to you? Isn't that an obvious question that I would ask? Sure. So you need to know that. You know how the easiest way to do that? Google everything. Just Google it real quick. If you Google that, it'll pop right up, I guarantee you. And say, a couple of you named out technology, but it's more than that. 21st century community learning is collaboration, communication, critical thinking, common sense, creativity, and technology. Okay? So those are the things they focus on in this school. So don't you think you should know these things? Right? I always call them, I have a pitiful memory. And so I have to learn everything in little tricks. So like the 4 C's, I do the 4 C's. I can talk, if a principal came in and said, well, just tell me a little about what you do. I just think 4 C's. I can talk about collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking all day long until you tell me that's enough. Stop. I just go take it. Okay. Remember, in our, our conceptual framework is developing 21st century leaders. And we do that through the learning objectives. Y'all remember this from ED 302. LEADER. Remember that? Leader. I do this. Leadership and collaboration, effective facilitation practices, assessment and diversity. D is diversity. E is ethics and professionalism, and R is reflective mastery of content. You know how we came about that? I created it because that's the only way I could remember our learning outcomes. So I made it spell something. So see, you can sit there and if I can talk about the 4 C's and LEADER all day long, okay, until he tells me just to stop. Right? But these are key. Collaboration. I need folks who can work together. How many of y'all plan in your schools as a team? Y'all have a planning period where you work together with a group? Yep. Like this is 4th grade and y'all are going to work together. This is 1st grade and y'all are going to work together. This is 3rd grade or special areas, PE, art, music. Y'all are going to work together. Okay. I need that in my school. Believe it or not, I had a teacher, a kindergarten teacher, who was the best kindergarten teacher I ever saw. Phenomenal. Hired her on the spot. She was amazing. And I fired her at the end of the year. Why? Because she wouldn't work with the group. The group would say, hey, we're going to do a field trip and do this. No, I'm going to do my own thing. Hey, we're going to have a party and do this. No, I'm going to have a party with my group. We're going to do this. We've got this project we're going to all do together. No, I'm going to do my own project. At the end of the year, I went, nope, that's not going to work. And I had to let her go. It was tough, but I had to let her go. Because we do things at my school as a team and work together. Okay. Matter of fact, when I do my hiring, I'll interview her, and then I'll spend 30 minutes with her. And then the next thing, if she's made it to that level, I'll send her on down. I'll call down here and say, hey, 4th grade, what's your name? Kaylee. I'm sending Kaylee on down to talk with you guys. Haley, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sending Kaylee and Haley down. I'm sending Haley down to the 4th grade and talk with you guys. You guys know, Dr. T must really like her if she's sending it. So now we've got to talk. Because you're not going to work with me every day. Who are you going to work with every day? These guys. And so I want to make sure these guys feel comfortable with Haley. Because they've already kicked out Kaylee. Now they're moving on. All right? And see if you can work with them. All right? Teamwork is important. Communication, being able to write and speak. Parents are vicious. If you send something home misspelled, they circle it in red because they remember that when they were little, and they'll send it back to you. I made the fatal mistake one year of before the electronic signs. I thought I was going to empower my students, and I thought this great, wonderful idea. You remember the boards that you lifted up the plastic and you put the letters in and spell the things and like that? Well, I sent out a group of 5th graders, and I was going to do this with them and had them put up some kind of sign for the day at my school. And it was right on the front in Dallas, Georgia. It was right on the front, the main drag. Right there, and they went out there and they put it up the words, and they were so proud. The letters, they were so proud. They spelled it all and everything like that. And I happened to look out my window, and they had misspelled a word. I panicked. I ran out as fast as I could, changed it all, closed it down. We were all good. I left. Until the next morning, when I got the paper and opened up the front page, and there was a picture of the sign misspelled in our education system. What's going on? I went, holy moly. So. Believe me, that never happened again. I didn't let students do that anymore. That was a learning experience for me. So you should be able to learn to write and to speak appropriately when you're working with your students and with the parents and community. And then finally, creativity and technology. I want you to be creative, and we work together. I said, well, Dr. T, I'm really not that creative. But you are as a team. You work together as a team and you think through that. And then the technology, understand, go ahead and understand. You think you know everything there is to know about technology. I promise. Remember how we close our eyes and think about next year? It'll already change by then. Something will be new. I promise. And you just have to continually learn all the time. Job hunting hints. Number 1, watch this. I bet you know this. Networking, friends, acquaintances are your best referrals. Watch this. It's not what you know, but
who you know.
So y'all already got this. That's right. Who you know. So I want you now to start thinking about, who do I know in the school system? Who do I know at the board? Who do I know that are some teachers that would be helpful? Okay? Network everywhere. Those are your best referrals. Okay? Look everywhere. Well, I want this job at Spring Garden, this PE job at Spring Garden right here. That's the only job I want. Well, if you limit yourself to that, you'll probably be working at Walmart for a while. Okay? Nothing but against Walmart, but you won't be having that teaching job. Because I know those 2 teachers at Spring Garden, they're not going anywhere for a while. So if you're waiting for that one job, it's going to be a while. So you look everywhere. And even after you look at this job and you feel really great about this job, I just feel it. God's just calling me this job, and I go to the other one. Because he may be calling you this one too. This one may have just been a practice. And go to this one and look too. Because the best problem you can have, Dr. T, I've got 2 schools offering me jobs. What do I do? That's the best problem ever to have. And I get that occasionally. I just don't know what to do. And so you look everywhere. Next, the resume. That document is your first impression. Flip over your sheet. This is just a template of a resume. Most of y'all already have resumes. This is not the way to do it. This is just one way to do it. If you pulled it up, if you Google resumes, there's 50 million different templates. It's just you want to be sure you have this kind of information on there. Okay? and think about those kind of things. Your objective, your education, your latest school first. So Jack State would be first, and then you go, from where you came up, whether it's junior college, high school, whatever. Professional experience. Even your student teaching counts as professional. Well, I don't have any professional experience, Dr. T. What do? You have student teaching where you were the teacher. You did practicum. You did volunteer. You put all those things down. And when they ask you about it, where did you do your student? Where did you do your student teaching? Piedmont. Okay, so Piedmont. Well, my teacher at Piedmont does this. My teacher at Piedmont does this. I'm not trying to hire the teacher at Piedmont. I'm hiring you. So you tell me, here's what I did in this classroom at Piedmont. Bam, 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 bam. Not her, you. Okay? So use those experiences. All right? Where am I? Other facts. Remember that involvement? How were you involved at JSU? What other things did you do? Did you volunteer? Did you coach? Did you help with a play? Did you help with the yearbook? Did you, what other things can you do? Because that's going to be important later. And then references. One of the most important things is ethically and professionally, you ask first. Okay? So you would come up to me, and Savannah would come up to me and say, hey, Dr. T, I'm fixing to put out some resumes. Would you mind if I put you down as a reference? 99% of the time, absolutely. Savannah, I'll be happy to do that for you. Okay? But you ask first. So if I get a call, hey, we're calling about a reference for Savannah, it's like, what? I don't remember. I don't know what. And then it kind of, that's a little red flag. So you just remind the person that you're putting down that, I'm putting this out and I might put your name down. Is that okay? And here's a little secret. When I ask you this, do you think that person would give you a good reference if you go, well, yeah, I think she would. No, don't use her. Only people who go, yep, absolutely, I know she would give me a good one. That's the ones you put down. And you only need about 3 or 4. Used to, back in the day, you put your pastor and somebody you knew from when you grew up, and you don't need those anymore. Okay? Just the professional ones, a professor from JSU or maybe 1 or 2, a principal if you knew them. If you don't know them, don't use them. At the school like at Piedmont, if you know her and she's encountered you and watched you teach, your cooperating teacher, folks like that have seen you. That's the kind of folks you want to use as a reference. Okay? And then next, appearance counts. Got to look good when you're going into that interview. All right? This was once the standard. When you see this, what do you think of? Go. Talk. All right, what do you think of? You see that? What, a preacher? Okay. Okay. Prom?
We said weddings.
Wedding? Military. Anything else? Military shoes is what that is. In the military, if you have shiny shoes, that means you are a shiny person. Okay? If you keep up your shoes, you keep up yourself. Okay? I've had a friend of mine tell me who was in this profession as well, and he was also former military. He said, I made my decision within the first couple of minutes, and I looked at their shoes. And if they kept their shoes up, they keep the rest of themselves up. Okay? Let me move it up to 2018. Let me tell you what I do. Now watch this response. You know what I do? As I walk by, I look in your car. Uh-oh. If your car's clean and doesn't have a bunch of junk in it, I'm like, that's the kind of person I need. But if it's stacked full of exercise balls and trash and bottles and clothes and stuff that was supposed to be taken to Goodwill like 6 months ago. No one I'm talking to in particular. But, I do. I look at that because I say, holy cow. I got wrappers and food and bottles, caps, and oh my gosh, and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's how their classroom look as well. So everybody's going to run home and clean up their car right now before they go for dinner. But how you present yourself is key. Appearance counts. Create a positive, professional image. Again, it's not, well, Dr. T, I just don't know if this looks pretty enough, or if I look, it's how you carry yourself in that professional appearance, that positiveness. When you are standing upright, you walk in with confidence, okay, when you're going in to meet that person. First impression, dress conservative, okay? So, a black suit, a navy blue suit, nothing big and flowery, nothing big and on the, I don't need the fancy flowery ties or the cartoon characters on the ties. A hint for young ladies that I tell everybody: if you can't walk in the heels, don't wear them. Okay? Now, graduation is in December. You have to, I don't know if y'all ever been to a GSU graduation, but they have to come across, and all these people are guiding them. They have to walk up these stairs. They have to walk across the platform. They have to shake President Beeler's hand, and then they walk down, turn. They even got places with the feet there. That's because we graduated, we got a degree, and we don't know where to stand. And so you stand right here in between two flags. You get your picture taken, and then you go on. Okay. Now you're going to think about this in December. You'll watch these, usually girls, come across, and they're coming. Because they don't walk in those big platform things every day, and so when they've got to look them on, and they're trying to style, profile, and they can't walk, and they're trying to shake President Beeler's hand, and they're holding on like this, they're trying to get across, and hope to gosh they get down the stairs. Now, I want you to think about this. There's a whole section over here of faculty that are sitting there, and we're all profound in our robes, in our boards, and our tassels, all distinguished. The music plays. I still been thinking, what we're doing? Don't lie. When you see them sit over here doing this, we're all taking bets who's going to fall. And we're looking at everybody's shoes, going, oh my gosh, can you believe how she's walking in here? So when you see us and you're seeing Lee do this, that's what we're doing. It's talking about people's shoes. Oh, she's not going to make it. Oh, not going to make it. Who's throwing down? I got 5. She's not making it across there. Okay. So dress conservative, and here's what I used to tell mine. You look great for the interview, but go buy you a good pair of tennis shoes because you're going to be on your feet all day long, right? Unless you're a kindergartner teacher, and then you're going to be on your knees all day long. Okay, so dress comfortable because I want you down there playing with the kindergartners. I don't need somebody all dressed up who's going to walk around and looking down on them. Kindergarten, you're either born or you're not. You either are or you're not a kindergarten teacher. You don't ever, well, one day I think I might want to be a kindergarten teacher. No, you're either born or you are. You're not. Okay, they're not made. Okay? But I want you to be comfortable all day because you're going to be on your feet. Facial expressions and body language. I'm looking at that as you walk in. Are you a happy person? Have you got the frown look? Are you slumping the shoulders as you walk in and, hey, nice to meet you and this guy? No, I want you to be able to carry yourself well as you come in. Okay? Up straight, walking in, confident, coming straight to the principal. As you say, don't wait for them to come to you and say hello. You come right up to them. Be careful of bad habits. Matter of fact, I did this. I had somebody, a student tell me, said, while you're standing up talking, all you do is sit there and jingle keys. So if you notice, I got no keys. I got no cell phone. Because when I get up in front, I remember those bad habits, you feeling that right there. And so I put all that away when I come up, so I don't do that. You have people who, when they're talking, well, it's like this and it's like that, and you like it. It's like at the high school, and it's like at the, oh my gosh. Then I go others, well, if they finish the sentence with And finally, I do this because I am a spoiled person every once in a while. No, I don't know. They'll tell me, it's like this, Well, it's like this, I really don't know. But they do that. So be careful when you're speaking. I'm going to freak everybody like, oh my gosh, I don't know what you're saying. I got to be careful. But you do. The clicking with the pen, when you remove the pen. If you're afraid you're going to check your phone, because I know y'all see people when they're talking, hang on just a second. Don't leave it in the car. Leave it in the car when you're doing the interview, so you don't even get anxious about what's going to be going on. And then good eye contact with the interviewer. When you're talking with them, you look at them, just like I've been kind of scanning back and forth with everybody. Now, when you're talking with them, don't do this. Don't stare them down and not what I can absolutely. See, you're already getting uncomfortable. Aren't you? Yeah, you are now, right? That freaks me out when people sit there just staring the whole time. So you blink a little bit. Okay? But you also don't, as you're talking, have you seen the people who look up and talk like this when they're talking? I'm like, what? Or the folks who are closing their eyes when they try to make a comment. I don't know what they're doing. That either. Okay? So you honestly, you look and you talk. You look and you talk. You look and you talk. Okay? Eye contact is important. Now you're thinking, really? Really? I'm soaking all this in as an interviewer. Understand that. Okay? Because you think, well, yeah, but that's not about me. You need to know who I am. I'm a person just like you. I judge just like you because I'm human. Well, that's not fair. You're right, it's not, but that's what we do. Okay? I think I have this up. I'm not sure. I want to be sure. But I'll go into this now. Believe it or not, and it may be up here later, so I'm sorry, but I don't want to forget it. Usually, I have made my decision within the first 5 minutes of the interview. So as you walk in, as you present yourself, as we sit down, within 5 minutes I've decided, is this interview going to last 10 minutes or 45 minutes? If it lasts 10 minutes and I do a don't call us, we'll call you, have a great day, you're done. But if I keep on and keep on, you're like, okay, I'm doing good. And then when this group right here gets that call, I'm sending her Haley on down. Uh-oh, now I'm in now. I got it now. I'm doing good. So think about that as you want to make that last. All right? Remember I told you at the very beginning it's about significance and being a servant. Remember when I talked about that? Not today. Today, in your interview, it's all about you. And I know that's hard for some of us to do. Well, I'm kind of a humble person. I don't really like to talk about myself. Today you do. Because the person in the waiting room that's waiting to interview next, they will. So you've got to, okay, it's about me today. I'm going to start talking about myself today. Okay? It's all about you. So remember when you did that philosophy of teaching in ED 300 or in a methods class and you thought, I hate doing this busy work. Why do they make me do this busy work? It's going to come back now because I'm going to ask you. Tell me a little bit about your philosophy of teaching. Okay? I'll give you a secret. You want it to match whatever school you are interviewing. Easy. How do we do that? Google. That's right. So it's all out there on the internet. All you got to do is pull it up, type the school in, and you can find out all what they're about. And so that, if your philosophy, you look at their philosophy, and that's what your philosophy is. Now, tomorrow, you go to this school. You know what you do? Change it up a little bit and make it to fit them. Because I'm trying to look for the best fit for my school. Okay? Are you a good fit for my school? Okay? So know your philosophy of teaching. Preparation interview techniques. Interviewing is a skill. You don't go to bed early, get up, eat a good breakfast, and hope for the best. You practice. Okay? And I know you feel goofy when you do it, but you practice. Ask a friend, hey, will you ask me some of these questions? You look in the mirror. Am I carrying myself well? Do I look corny? Do I look stupid? How does this look? Because, people think about it, they go in I look good. I look good. Here we go. Now, there's a lot of people at Walmart that apparently don't do that. So when you look at them like, what, did you walk past the mirror before you got to Walmart? Holy cow. But that's what you're going to do. Do I look, do you think this is okay? Does I look all right? And let's practice some of these interview questions. Okay? Attitude, no negatives, criticize past principals, schools, or teachers. So if you had a bad experience at Piedmont, you look at it as, at least I learned some positive things from that experience, and I can take some good things away. Okay? At JSU, you might have been upset with some teachers, with some classes, with some things that were asked of you. But if I asked you, how was I noticed you went to JSU, how was your experience? Great. It's great. How was your practicum? Great. That's right. How was your internship? Great. Awesome. Just awesome. It's great. I learned so much. Now, It wasn't all good, but I learned a lot. You know? And how were your teachers? And I'll tell you why. Because if I asked you, well, how was your experience at JSU? Well, a lot of times they didn't know what they were talking about. Sometimes they, these teachers ask on and on and on. It was just crazy. That's interesting. Both my parents taught at JSU for 30 years. And I went to school there, and I thought I had a great experience. Uh-oh. Oops. Now that 45-minute interview just went to 5. I went to 10. So everything is great and wonderful for this experience right here. You pull positives out. Okay, you don't want to. And then research the organization. How? Google. So if I pull up Kiddystone Elementary School, I just pull up their thing. Here's about the school. They'll tell me a little bit about what the school is. About the students, about the principal, and about how these factors work for an excellent staff. Look what the things I kind of find. I find out over here. I see this one-to-world right here. I see an apple over here. What does that kind of tell me right now? Technology, and they use Apple products. They might use iPads. If kids don't take textbooks home, they just might have iPads. So what do I probably need to know about Apple? Oh, I'm good with Apple. Absolutely I am. Now, I may not be, but I'm going to run home and learn it that night. Okay? And I find out, pre-K to 6th grade, 900 students. K through 3 is about 1 to 21 students. 4 to 6 grades is 1 to... So how many students do you think I'm going to have, kind of roughly? Mid-20s? I already know that before I ever go in. They have 60 teachers. 35 have master's degree. 6 have educational specialist degree. 2 are nationally board certified. I don't do math, so I can't add all that up. But that's over half have advanced degrees. If I get a job at Kiddystone, we talk about vision and where you see yourself in 5 years, probably what are you going to have to do? Go back and get your master's, your EDS degree, because that's what most do. That's right. That's how you find that out right there. I probably need to go ahead and do that. And not a lot. I'm not going to give a big spiel about how much more money you're going to make. Getting a master's degree in EDS, you will. You make significantly more for the time you spend here. It's well worth it. But I want to see that you are progressing and continually. You talk about being a lifelong learner. You're continuing to learn while you're doing this, and so I'm going to see those kind of things. Interview tips: be early for the appointment. It's not like class. It's not like JSU anymore. An 8-hour class means I get here at 5 after and walk in, or I got here at 8 as best I could. If you're having an interview and your interview's at 8, that means you want to get there about 7:45 because you got to plan for traffic and you got to plan for some kind of incident to occur. Because, I'm sorry I'm late, but there was an accident on the road. They were working on Highway 21, the road place, and it took me a while. Did you not know that? They didn't just pop up there this morning. You should have planned ahead of that for them. Okay? So I want you to be early for the appointment. Greet everyone politely. What's the word that's underlined? Everyone. When you walk in, the secretary, the PTA mom that's helping, the bookkeeper, everyone that is there in that front office, you greet politely. Because you never know, come time for the interview and the decision-making process. Let me tell you what I did. You would come into my school in the front office. What's your name? Lashante. Would come in. Okay? I did that better than Haley, didn't I? She would come in and she would meet my secretary, and my secretary, Miss Tanya, would say, Dr. T's busy. He'll be with you in just a moment. Okay? Have a seat. I'm not busy. I'm sitting in my office reading the paper. But I'm going to have you spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes out there with Miss Tanya and let her talk to you. Because as a principal, legally, there's certain questions I can't ask you. Are you married? Where you go to church? Do you have kids? Are your kids going to go to our school? What does your husband do? I can't ask you those kind of things. But she can. She can ask you anything she wants to. So I just sit there and let her sit in there, and I just wait. And then I bring you in, and I talk to you for that 5 to 45 minutes. And then as you leave, I come up to Miss Tanya. Miss Tanya, what'd you think about Shantae? Well, I thought this, and this. I think she'd be great at this, and this. I think she'd fit in with this grade group. Yep. My wife's met her. She knows. That's what, I still have her phone, her number in my phone. We talk all the time. I talk with my custodian once a month. my secretary and my lunchroom lady. About once a month, we keep up with each other. And I've been out of the schools 20 years. I've been out, and I keep up with them monthly. What's going on? Okay, because they were my best friends when I was in my school. You'll find that out. Okay, because remember we work as a team and as a family. Okay? So she can ask all those kind of questions. So I asked her. No, she kind of acted like she was better than everybody else. This and another. She didn't seem like she fit in at all. Good enough for me. She's done. Okay. So greet everybody politely when you go in. You just never know what's going to happen. All right, everybody, stand up. Turn to your partner. Give a good handshake.
That's like the first thing my dad ever told me. My first job was give a good handshake. Oh, really?
All right, everybody sit down. Carson, okay. Carson's coming in for an interview. How you want to do? Well, actually, we'll make her the principal. Okay, she's going to be the principal. I'm interviewing for a job. What I want to do when I come in to meet her, what's your last name? McDowell. Miss McDowell, nice to meet you. I'll look at her, shake, and back away. Okay, because and then you're done, and then you go sit down. But you wait for them to sit down first. Okay, because you don't know what they're going to do. What you don't want to do is come in here and hold it. But you don't want to do the church. Not the death grip. Okay? I had a dean one time who came in and she would take you down. She was squealing. So I walk in like this. You don't want to do that. You ever done the fish where you accidentally do this? Oh, you don't want to do that either. You don't want to do the fish handshake either. It's a good go in, look at them in the eye, shake your hand, and then back away. Thanks. Okay? I say, you go. There's that much to a handshake? Sure is. Remember, what did I say? The first 5 minutes are critical. Okay? From the time you walk in to the time you do the handshake to the time you sit down. Okay? And how you're presenting yourself. Make the interview a give and take. I told you I forget stuff. Here we go. Make the interview a give and take. When he's asking you or she's asking you questions. Do you believe in strong classroom management? Yes. Do you do some other activities? Yes, sir. Again, it's going to last about 5 minutes, and we're going to be done. So you want to talk and tell them certain things, and then when you're done, cut it off. Have y'all ever seen people that struggle with trying to finish? Just stop. It's okay. Just stop talking. And he knows you're done. He's smart. He knows you're done. But when he asks you a question, you don't have to immediately answer. Take a second, think about it, and then answer. Yeah, I did that. No, just stop, think, and then answer. It's okay. He knows he or she knows you're thinking about that. Listen and speak clear. I'm sorry, what'd you say? Listen and clear and speak up. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. What now? That's not going to last long either. And I can't understand that. It's not going to last long. So you want to speak and listen clearly. Okay? Here's some of the questions I'm gonna ask you. You ready? Here we go. Tell me a little bit about yourself and why you got into teaching. That's gonna be my first question. Ready? I don't care. But this one's gonna help you calm down because you're nervous, you're anxious. And surely, out of all the questions I ask you, hopefully you can get this one right. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Oh, I don't know. No, we're done then if you can't do that. Okay. So you want to do this real quickly. I'm from Jacksonville, Alabama. I went to Jacksonville High School. I went to Jacksonville State University, got my degree in elementary education. And I'm ready to get a job teaching. I like teaching this, and this, and being with my kids. That's all I need to know. Now, you can breathe. You've answered that first question. You check that off. Now we're just going to start getting into it. Okay? And why you got into teaching. Remember this one I already talked to you about. What is your philosophy of teaching? You've already looked this up. You already know. You kind of want to match with whatever school you're going to. Okay? And find out what their mission is. And you might want to mention those kind of things. What is your classroom management style? Remember, I already told you that's a strength. I'm almost fixing to give you a secret. Are you ready? I don't tell anybody else this, but just yes, you folks. I'm going to tell you how to answer this question, because if you said, you know what, I believe in corporal punishment. Buddy, I tell you what, if they misbehave, I'm going to pull out the paddle and whack them. Well, there's a problem with that. We don't paddle at this school. So you're done. Or you could be this one over here. Well, I just believe in positive discipline. I'm just going to focus all positive about kids. That's all we do. I don't ever talk down to them or talk bad to them or anything like that. We just all positive. Well, that's not going to work because we paddle here at my school. Oops. So you're out. So, Dr. Steve, what do I do? Ready for the secret? When they ask you, what's your classroom management style? You answer. What kind of policies do you do here at this school? Well, we believe in this, this, and this. That's what I believe. And they're going to look at you and go, oh, you got me on that one? I'll get you on the next question. Okay? Now, be sure if you're hearing correctly, there's a difference. Corporal punishment and capital punishment. We're not killing them, okay? So understand the difference. Don't let that slip out. I always have to think about that before I say that. Okay? I'm not trying to hang them or zap them. All right? What qualities would you bring to the classroom? Remember those 4 things we talked about, or 4 or 5 back earlier, those professional qualities? You want to bring those up. The 4 C's we talked about: communication, collaboration, okay, creativity, technology, critical thinking, good classroom management. Remember, that's a strength, right? Knowing my content. I'm a good planner. I do good lesson plans. Surely, y'all done 1 or 2 lesson plans, haven't you, since you've been here at JSU? 1 or 2, maybe? Okay. I feel confident when I get up in front of a class and teach. I do different types of teaching styles, right? Okay. So all those kind of things you want to think about. Tell me your thoughts on 21st century learning, brain boosters, authentic learning, one-to-one initiative. Why am I asking this? Probably because it's going on in my school, and do you know what it is? That's why you do your little research real quick, because we saw the Apple, so I know they're doing, they use Apple products. So I kind of want to know that before I go in there. I see that one-to-one initiative, so I know they're using laptops or whatever it may be in their classroom. You might want to talk around and find out what they're doing. Okay, there. What are your strengths? We've already talked about that. You know what those are now. One of them is? Okay, right, it is classroom management. Okay, but knowing my content, working well with others, teamwork, collaboration, those kind of things that you got on the handout, those are going to be your strengths. Another question that I may ask is, if I walked in your classroom, what would I see? Okay, there's 2 ways to answer that. You could answer, well, you see things up on the board that the students do like this all the way around, and little cartoons over here on the door, and my TVs would be up and everything. I'd be talking about different colors. Okay, that's one. Everybody would be kind of be in groups. That's cool. Okay. Or you can say, I've got bean bags over here, and I've got a loft over here, and I've got lamps over here, and you're going to see kids in groups doing this, and different, these kids may be on the floor working over here. These kids may be over here by the computer. It could be either way. And believe it or not, either way is okay. I had 2 4th grade teachers across from following each other. If you walked into this one, they were all in straight rows. Everything was perfect. Everything was under their desk. Teacher was up in front, basically lecturing. Okay? The students sat up front, never moved, never breathed. They sat there like that. You walk across the room, the kids were laying on the floor, laying in a beanbag, laying upside down in a loft. The lights were out. They were laying up on a big couch-looking thing, a futon thing, reading, this kind of thing. And both styles are okay if that works for you. It doesn't matter to me. Believe it or not, one of those teachers was 25 and just graduated. The other one was 55 and fixing to retire. Which one was the 55-year-old room? The loft and the lamps. The 25-year-old knew she had all the straight rows and everything underneath. You just never can tell. Okay? But both worked in my school, and that's fine. If that's the way you taught, that's okay. So not one way is not better than the other. Another situation that could come up is scenarios. How would you handle? So if I'm asking you, so Miss Smith, how would you handle if somebody back in the back picked up her chair and threw it across the room right in the middle of your lesson? What would you do? Why did I ask that question? Because it might happen at my school. My school might be that situation. Or if an angry parent bursts in and, starts yelling about custody of his child and wanting to take his, because that might happen in my school, you just never know. I want to see if you can handle that. It might not just be straight questions that we're asking like this. How would you incorporate bullying into your curriculum? Because that's a huge issue right now. Okay, it's bullying, and we always took care of the kids in my class, in my school. But now, in 2018, you see this. It could be in the classroom, in the gym. It could be on social media. You just never know. And you've got to keep up with those kind of things. No, my classroom is great. But you might find out what's going on outside the classroom as well. How would you communicate with parents? How would you incorporate diversity? Okay, that's a big issue as well, too. And you think, no, the place I'm going to is not diverse. Yeah, it is. You may not think that, but it may be different learning styles, different socioeconomic classes. Okay, it might be different races. You just never know. I went up to anybody from the Crossville area. I went up to Crossville one time, and it's just this little small, sweet school. Everybody's pretty much the same. Everything's in a little community. Everybody does the same thing. Everybody knows everybody. I left, and I came back the next semester, and it was completely different. What's the percentage of Hispanic now?
I know one is minority, but I don't know.
I mean, overnight, right?
It's
It was
like
over,
overnight. It's like
80-20. Overnight. That just happened. And so you just never know how those things are going to change. Well, my community would never change. It might. You just never know. Okay? And so how do you handle those different? And to me, if somebody asks me what's the toughest part of teaching, that's it. Making sure the high-level kids get it, the middle-level kids get it, and the lower-level kids get it. That's the hardest part, to make sure everybody gets it. So somebody's not bored, somebody's not doing this, that, and the other, but everybody gets it. Okay? So you want to focus on that and well. How would you use a parapro in your classroom? Believe it or not, one of my students came up with this question. He said, Dr. T, I went and I was asked this. I thought that's a good question to ask. Because some of you in kindergarten or pre-K, you may have a parapro, a teaching aid, that you have to work with. So you think about that. What else can you do? Remember we talked about that earlier. I can do a yearbook. I can do drama. I can help coach. I want somebody who's involved and does other things. Okay. A key one. Why do you want to be at this school? The answer you don't want to give. I don't care. I'll just take any job. I don't care what it is, because it's my school. I take it personally because I'm the principal of this school, and it's my school, and I'm proud of my school. So why do you want to be at this school? So you come up with your answers from what we've talked about in the research. Well, I've heard good things about the community. I've heard good things about the school. I've looked up your test scores. They're great. I know the parents are good. I really want to be a part of this school and where it's headed. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share with me today? Remember I talked to you about my secretary able to ask questions, but I can't. This is an opportunity that if you want to share something with me, you can. But you don't have to. Okay? So this is an opportunity for that. And then the next question, the final question he'll ask or she'll ask is, do you have any questions of me? No, you pretty much did everything. You took everything. No, that doesn't mean you're prepared. You're not prepared. So yeah, I have a couple of questions. What would a successful first year be like? Because you want to be successful, don't you? What would a successful first year of a first year teacher look like? Well, I would expect a new teacher to do this, this, and this. Make sure you write that down because that's what you want to do. How will success of the position be measured? Okay, coming in, doing observations. I kind of do a checklist at the end of the year. How would you describe the culture of your school? This can go two ways as well. I can tell you some about our students. Well, we have low, medium, high students. We have some from a lower socioeconomic class. We have, ours is upper middle class. Ours is this. We have very encouraging parents. Or I could answer this way. We have a third are brand new teachers. A third are been here about 5 to 10 years, and a third are been here 20 to 30 years. And that's kind of a good mix. I had a principal one time who I only hire teachers who have 10 years or more experience. That was her rule. No matter what I did, that was her rule. So you knew if you were a new teacher coming out of gym, I almost could tell you You don't have a shot. You don't have a shot. But here's where I go to this school and give it a try. Okay? Because that was their policy. You just never know. Think about your best teachers. What makes their performance outstanding? Because you want to be outstanding and you want to be one of the best teachers there, right? That's your goal, is to be a great teacher. So you think you're done? First off, you're going to get a verbal thanks. Remember how you walked in and greeted each person? As you're leaving, whoever's there, you want to make sure you thank for everything all the way across and be sincere as you go through. You thank everyone. Write a thank you note. Well, some people go, well, that's kind of lame. Who does that? Believe it or not, I have hired off of a thank you note. I had 2 folders. They were exactly the same. The teachers were, I couldn't decide which one to hire. And the 2 folders sitting there. Open it up. One took 5 minutes to handwrite a thank you note for being there. And the other didn't. I hired the thank you note person. She thought to take 5 minutes to do that. Okay. Follow up. So you think you have what it takes. Let's see. These require 0 child talent. Number 1, read it. Being on time. Number 2, work ethic. Number 3, effort. Number 4, body language. Number 5, energy. I feel like that game show. Steve Harvey. Number 6, attitude. Number 7, passion. Number 8, being coachable. Number 9, doing extra. And number 10, being prepared. Did any of those take a whole bunch of stuff from your? No. These are qualities that we have internally. Okay? And that I want you to think about, is that me? Is that me? When I look at those things, can I do those things? Those don't take a lot. But those are the kind of folks I need in my school. Okay? Being on time, good work ethic, putting forth some effort, energy, attitude, passionate about our students first, subject matter second, being coachable, because I'm going to help you along, and being prepared. What's your significance? That's what we talked about at the very beginning. To laugh often and love much, to win the respect of intelligent persons and the affection of children, to earn the approval of honest citizens, and to endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty and find the best in others, to give up oneself and leave the world a bit better, knowing that one life has breathed easier because you have lived. You want to make a difference in those kids' lives, and that's what's important. Guys, thank you so much. We went a little over, and I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to make sure I got all this to you. Good luck with everything. Good luck with NTPA today. I'm going to turn it over.
We appreciate Dr. Thornburg coming and sharing all of his knowledge. It is absolutely beneficial every semester that we do this, because you do feel better prepared once you've been through the training and ready for an interview. So go home, think about these questions that he's asked you to ponder and review them and go over them. But we do appreciate Dr. Thornburg coming up for us. So let's give him another round of applause.
Oh, boy. Oh, come on back.
We do leave. If you see a chair that doesn't belong in here,